26th. Friday, April 26th, and we're here live from the underground public house on Orange Avenue, the scene of the Easter Bunny incident last week on Sunday. It was all over Facebook, all over social media. The Easter Bunny right out here, right in front of the underground bar and grill, went at it with two individuals. He claims that it was in self-defense, but if you've seen the video, I'm not trying to make humor out of a bad situation, but it was funny. It was really. Did you think it was funny? It was hilarious. I mean, it's a guy dressed up as an Easter bunny, just like kind of like wailing. You know, he claims it was defensive third parties, and apparently there's no charges in Orlando. But the Easter bunny apparently had a warrant out in New Jersey. He's been interviewed by the local media. Was on 95.3 with Esty and Little John, and apparently. He had warrant out in New Jersey, and now he's in the wind. They're looking to pick him up. Easter Bunny, reach out if you do get charged in Orange County. Call us at Delatory Law 407-733-0640. I want to give a special shout out and thanks to Candelario from the Underground, the owner of Underground Public House, for letting us do our show live here from the scene of the Easter Bunny incident, which happened last week. I'm here with Dario Zapata from Keiron Partners, aka Raymond James. How does that work? Keiron Partners is like the extension of Raymond James here in Orlando.
Yeah, so there's two areas, I guess, two parts of Raymond James. There's the independent channel, that's where the Keiron Partners comes in, and then there's corporate. I'm in the independent channel of Raymond James, and to kind of make ourselves, to differentiate ourselves from all the advisors out there that are in Raymond James or in other firms, we call each other Keiron Partners. So people know that Keiron are people, they're financial advisors at our firm.
That's awesome. Dario and I know each other from the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. We're both a member of the Lake Nona group for that particular chamber, and it's just been an awesome experience knowing Dario. He was also the star of our soccer team, our adult soccer team. He was the leading goal scorer. He had the gold cleats to go with it. He didn't partake with us this year because he was in a more competitive league, I guess. He didn't want to play with us old timers. Dario is also a graduate of the University of Central Florida. Go Knights, charge on. 2017 national champions. If you don't have your wristband by now, then you might not ever get one because they were limited and they're pretty much all gone, but I have a few left. If you haven't gotten a wristband, Dario, did you get a wristband?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Dario has a wristband brought to you by Delatory Law. Brought to you by Delatory Law. You can find us at DelatoryLaw.com, Delatory Law Firm on Facebook, Delatory Law Firm on Instagram. We're also on Twitter. Look me up, Juan Delatory. On YouTube, you can catch past shows of this one-on-one. And today we're one-on-one with Dario Zapata, who came to talk to us about college plans. My kid was on the show yesterday.
I saw that.
You saw that,
yeah.
Right? It was Take Your Kid to Work Day. I gave him a tour of the courthouse. He got to meet some judges and stuff. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
You enjoyed it?
He did. But tell me, Dario, how do I put my kid through college?
Okay, so first of all, I want to thank Juan for having me on his show. It's a great way to end the week. So thank you, Juan, for doing that.
Appreciate it.
There's a couple of ways that you could do it. Right now, college costs is going up every year, about 5.5% every year. So it's a topic of concern for a lot of parents out there.
Right.
And so, how do you get started, or what should you plan for? There's a couple of vehicles out there, or a couple of accounts that you could look into and do further research on. I'll talk about the most common ones, which is the 529 college savings account. Every state has a prepaid. In the state of Florida, we have the Florida prepaid account.
I have that right now.
Okay, great. And then you have the ESA, which is the Educational Savings Account, and then the last one that is kind of common is the custodial account. Pretty much is a brokerage account for the benefit of that child. So those are the most common vehicles out there to save for kids' college.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Does the 529 plan, as you say, that the college tuition is increasing on average 5% every year, okay, does purchasing a 529 plan fix in the cost? Do you get locked in for that year, the year that you you take on the 529, does your tuition get locked in for that year's rate?
Yeah, so that happens in the Florida prepaid or in the prepaid plans, depending on what state you're in. So if you're looking at the Florida prepaid, you're pretty much locked in the tuition costs right now.
Okay.
Which is probably like about $21,000, $22,000 per year, including room and board.
I think it was less expensive when our production manager Rick and I went to UCF. I think it was maybe about $14,000 a year.
Yeah.
So $7,000 increase over the last 20 years.
And it keeps going up 5.5%.
Wow.
So yeah, right. You're locking in that price right now, and then you make monthly payments or yearly payments towards that.
I don't mean to show my age, but back when I applied to go to undergraduate school, which was in 1998, the cost of going to a private institution such as the University of Miami, which is where I'm originally from, and I got into the University of Miami. And the reason I didn't go there was because basically mom offered me to pay my tuition there. It was about $21,000 a year, $25,000 for the University of Miami to go to a private institution. I asked her if I could live on campus. She said no. And I said, well, this is a school up north in Orlando. It's about $14,000. It's going to come out to the same with the room and board included. And that's how I made my decision in part on where I was going to go to school. Does the same rules apply to a 529 if you're going through the state of Florida as opposed to a private institution?
Yes, I mean it depends on the cost of the tuition, right? If you think that, or if you want to put your child into a private college, then you obviously have to plan to save a little bit more money, obviously.
Okay.
So I could go in detail about each account or each vehicle that are there. So
I don't know if we're gonna have time for that. If you want to reach out to Dario, drop off the phone number.
Sure. It's 407-648-7022, and then my email address. You can also email me at dario.zapata@raymondjames.com, and that's spelled dario.zapata@raymondjames.com.
There you go. You have it, dario.zapata@raymondjames.com. Dario, what else do you think is like a must-know right now about these 529 plans without getting into too much detail?
I just want to, kind of create awareness. We have in the U.S. we have a total of about $1.5 trillion in student debt.
Right.
It's the second consumer debt next behind mortgage debt.
I know.
So it's a
my
topic of
student
concern.
my student loans would equate to the equivalent of a mortgage payment after law school and grad school. And it's a hot topic with the presidential elections, whether or not there could be potential debt forgiveness for student loans. So obviously, the biggest issue with the 529 plans is that a failure to plan is a plan to fail, right?
Most people don't plan to fail; they just simply fail to plan.
Well, if they fail to plan, you're planning to fail in the sense of you're going to set up your child potentially to have a lot of debt. And if they have a lot of debt, they can face issues with buying a home, qualifying for a mortgage to purchase a home. But they factor in the total cost. Well, I ran into this issue myself. I was trying to refi my home, and they factored in the entire full payment. Even though I was on an IBR, they factored in the full payment of what I'm supposed to pay towards my student loans into the debt to income ratio. And I had some issues there. So hopefully I got them resolved. But you got to talk to somebody like Dario. And one of the things that we always talk about at the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and particularly the Lake Nona group, is reaching out to your professionals and getting services. One of the things that I'm talking to Dario about right now is that I got my life insurance, I got my kids' college plans, and I got a plan. I need to get a plan to go into retire. And Dario is talking to me about potentially managing all those, and he's also been willing to do that and to look at those things, even though that my life insurance product is actually with another company. So that's something. Don't think that just because you're with another company or that you have a product elsewhere that Dario won't take a look at it. Some of the things that he's offered in the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce is like, listen, a free review, right? It costs you nothing to review something with a professional financial advisor, such as Dario Zapata and his partners over at Keiron Partners on behalf of Raymond James. Listen, this has been the one-on-one show, brought to you by Delatory Law. We're coming up on Cinco de Mayo, underground public house right here on Orange Avenue. It's gonna do it. They're gonna do it big. We're gonna do a thing. Come hang out here. Thank you very much to Dario for letting us do our show live. We got the sounds and the sights of the city right behind us. As a city slicker, I was born in New York, raised in Miami. So as a city slicker, I feel at home. Like I feel at home. All we need is some whoop whoop, you know, driving by, you know, the sounds of the firefighters and the police. It's definitely that feeling of a city. Orlando's growing, Orlando's bringing more people in, and everybody needs the services of a professional such as Dario, such as myself. If you have a family member that gets in trouble, needs immigration services, or you're planning for a divorce, and I'll close out on the divorce topic, I'll close out by saying this issue of college plans is something that often gets overlooked when you're finalizing your divorce, when you're doing your settlement agreement. Be sure to bring it up with your attorney, even if it's not me. To discuss who's going to be responsible for paying your children's college plan if you're getting a divorce, because this is really important information to know and to plan for the future so that you can set up your children for success. And this has been Juan De La Torre with De La Torre Law. Again, you can find us on De La Torre Law Firm on Facebook. We're live right now. We're right here. You're watching us. You've already found us. You can find us on Instagram at De La Torre Law Firm and Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. My phone number is 407-733-0640. It's been a pleasure meeting with you, Dario.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much for finally coming on the show. I've been hyping
definitely.
you up for like 2 weeks. Don't forget to call Dario.
Thank you.
What's that phone number again?
It's 407-648-7022.
And you can also reach him by email at dario.zapata@raymondjames.com. I'm not going to hold it against you that Raymond James is the name of the stadium over there in Tampa. As a Dolphin fan, I don't know how I feel about that. But Raymond James doing good work for the community here in Central Florida. Thank you very much, Dario Zapata, for being on the show. We're going to catch you next week. If not by Cinco de Mayo, be safe out there. Get a Lyft, get an Uber. Don't drink and drive. And do call us.
I had one more comment, if you don't mind. So back on the for planning for kids' education, a lot of parents, out of guilt, they start focusing too much on the college planning, and then they kind of ignore their personal retirement and saving for their future.
Wow, that's me.
So I would suggest.
I don't know if it's out of guilt, but.
But I would suggest to focus on the essentials, on the fundamentals, which is having emergency funds, focus on paying off any debt that you have, any credit cards. Those are more important right now, because if you are successful, then you are most likely going to help out your kids in the future. If
Right.
you don't have time to go back and fund your retirement, and then you may put a financial burden on your kid in the future, because now they have to help you, financially when you do retire. So just a heads
Como buen
up.
Colombiano, I was trying to be brief today, and you're the one that went long. On a lighter note, what he discussed is right on the tip of my tongue, in sense of I didn't have life insurance for years. I'm the #1 breadwinner in my household. What's the worst or best life insurance plan to have is the one that you didn't have before. Okay, you gotta get a life insurance plan, especially if you're the primary breadwinner in your household, and that's a plan to secure your family in the event of a disaster. God forbid I get hit by a car crossing the street. At least my family would be covered for X amount of years. Now that I do have life insurance. Dario, again, I thank you for giving us all this information. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for finally coming on the show. We
Thank you,
postponed
guys.
it a couple times. We're gonna catch you guys later. Thank you for joining us here on the One-on-One Show.